What's going on, everybody? Trying to buy a home in California can feel it's kind of impossible sometimes. You see a seven-figure price tag and you just have to wonder, what on earth does that actually get me? You hear these wild stories about Bay Area bidding wars, and it's easy to think the whole market is just for billionaires, and that's an honest way to think. But what if the same budget could unlock two completely different versions of the California dream? One is dense, walkable, and a powerhouse for long-term equity. The other is spacious, modern, and finally gives you some room to breathe. Today, we're putting a $1.2 million budget to the test. The Bay Area versus Sacramento. By the end of this, you'll have a much clearer picture of where your money goes furthest and which of these places is the right fit for you. I'm a real estate professional who lives and breathes these markets every single day, and I'm going to break down the real-world trade-offs you just won't find on a listing sheet. You guys, I am Joubert Caston. I'm a local real estate advisor, but most importantly, a very proud girl dad. All right, so let's get straight to the point. What does 1.2 million actually buy you in these two totally different markets? We'll try to compare apples to apples, focusing on popular neighborhoods with strong demand. For the Bay side, we're going to zero in on the East Bay. Think of a city like Berkeley, known for its vibrant culture and easy to access to San Francisco. For Sacramento, we're going to explore suburbs that are magnets for families like Folsom or El Dorado Hills. First up, the Bay Area. For 1.2 million in a prime Berkeley or Oakland neighborhood, you're likely looking at a mid-sized single-family home, probably somewhere between 1,800 and 2,200 square feet. This is usually a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, and often an older build like a charming 1940s bungalow or a mid-century home that has been updated over the years. While they can be beautifully maintained, these homes are always almost on compact lots. That means a small yard and street parking, or maybe even a one-car garage if you're really, really lucky. The value here isn't about the land, it's all about the location. You're paying a premium for access to world-class jobs, great schools, and the cultural heartbeat of Northern California. In this market specifically, that budget can still put you in a competitive spot. Though the insane bidding wars are over from a few years ago, it's now a market that literally rewards precision over pure urgency. Now let's take a 90-mile drive northeast to the greater Sacramento like I did. That same $1.2 million budget gets a dramatic makeover. In suburbs like Folsom or El Dorado Hills, you're not just buying a home, you're buying a lifestyle. We're talking about a premium, often much newer single-family home that could be well over 3,000 square feet. This could be a 4 or even a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house on a huge lot. Sometimes a quarter or even half an acre type of lot that you get when you buy a house for $1.2 million in this area. You'll find modern open concept layouts, a chef's kitchen, a 3-car garage, and a backyard with enough space for a pool and a play structure, especially good for all those kiddos. In areas like Folsom and Granite Bay, this budget puts you in some of the most prestigious, family-friendly neighborhoods, famous for the excellent schools and outdoor life around Folsom Lake. The difference is just staggering. For the price of a compact, older home in the Bay, you can get a sprawling, modern property with all the bells and whistles in the greater Sacramento area. Now let's talk about the numbers. Beyond the sticker price, the long-term cost of owning a home is where these two markets really go their separate ways. Let's talk about the numbers, starting with property taxes. California's property tax system starts with a 1% base, but local assessments get added on top of that. So what you actually pay varies. In Alameda County, where Berkeley is located, the effective property tax rate can range between 1% to 1.25%, depending on your specific neighborhood. On a $1.2 million home, that's an annual tax bill of roughly $12,000 to $15,000 a year, or $1,000 to $1,250 a month. Now let's look at Sacramento County. The effective property tax rate here is similar, averaging around 1.19% to 1.3%. On a $1.2 million home, that comes out to about $14,280 to $15,600 a year, or $1,190 to $1,300 per month. While the rates are pretty close, remember that the median home price in Sacramento is significantly lower, which makes the typical tax bill much more manageable for the average homeowner here. But here's the real hidden costs of Bay Area buyer needs to watch out for. HOA fees. If your $1.2 million budget leads you into a condo or townhome, to get into the market, these can be a game changer. Median HOA fees in the Oakland metro area, for instance, are around $536 a month and can easily climb to $800 or even $1,000 depending on the building's age and amenities. These fees have been rising partly due to soaring insurance costs. In Sacramento, where single family homes are the norm, HOA fees are far less common or much more lower if they exist in newer communities. That $500 to $600 or even $800 a month can save on HOA fees in Sacramento can make a massive difference in your monthly payment and what you can ultimately afford. You guys, this is kind of different because if you buy new construction out here in the greater Sacramento area, you definitely are going to get that Melrose tax too, which is going to add on. So you definitely have to pay attention to what you're paying in taxes when it comes to both location. So now, lifestyle comparison. This is where the decision gets really personal. Your lifestyle, your career, and what you truly value in a community are the things that will ultimately tip the scales. In the Bay Area, you're paying for access and energy. Life is often centered around your neighborhood. You can walk to coffee shops, fantastic restaurants, and the farmers markets. The commutes, on the other hand, can be a beast. The average one-way commute for a Bay Area resident was about 30 minutes in 2023. For those taking public transit, that time jumps to an average of 50 minutes, and super commutes of over an hour each way are a reality for many, especially those living in further flung communities like parts of Contra Costa County. The trade-offs is a vibrant, diverse culture with endless entertainment, world-renowned food, and being close to coastal and iconic landmarks. The job market is a global powerhouse, especially in tech and biotech, which keeps the region's economy humming. Sacramento offers a totally different pace. It's more suburban and family focused. While downtown Sacramento has a fantastic and growing food and culture scene, life in the suburbs is more about backyard barbecues, community events, and outdoor recreation. Instead of walking to a cafe, you're probably driving to a shopping center. The commute is a huge factor. A local commute within the Sacramento area is way less stressful than in the Bay Area, with an average travel time of around 27 to 28 minutes. However, a growing number of residents are super commuters who travel to the Bay for work, a lifestyle often made possible by hybrid work schedules. That can mean a tough 1.5 to 2.5 hour drive each way, though many of us use the Capital Corridor train to make the journey more productive. And you can't forget the weather. Sacramento has hot, dry summers, which is a world away from the cool, foggy summers in the Bay Area. So now let's talk about the long-term value and investment. When you buy a home, you're not just choosing a place to live, you're making one of the biggest investments of your life. So how do these two markets compare for long-term value? The Bay Area real estate market is famous for its incredible stability and appreciation potential. Because of limited space, tough zoning laws, and relentless demand from its high-powered job market, property values have been historically resilient. Forecasters see 2026 as a more stable and balanced market with modest growth rather than sharp spikes. Buying a $1.2 million home in the East Bay is a bet on the long-term equity growth. It's like a blue chip investment in one of the most desirable real estate markets in the world. Even in a more balanced market, well-priced homes generate intense interest. Sacramento's market tells a different story, one of the growth and value. For years, it has been a top spot for people cashing out of the Bay Area, and that migration continues to power its housing market. Projections for 2026 suggest modest price growth of around 3 to 5%, with the market getting a boost from new jobs in tech and healthcare and that steady stream of new residents looking for affordability. However, its value can be more sensitive to the ups and downs of the economy. While you get incredible bang for your buck today, the appreciation might not be as steep or as consistent as the Bay Area's. The investment here is less about rapid equity growth and more about locking in a higher quality of life for a lower cost with the potential for steady, moderate appreciation over time. Now, you guys, if this breakdown is helping you see which path might be your own, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button. My entire goal is to bring you the clarity you need to handle these huge decisions. So I'm gonna end it like this. What's your final verdict in the battle between the Bay Area and Sacramento? The truth is, there's no single right answer. The winner is all about your priorities. If your number one goal is building long-term wealth, Through real estate, you crave walkability and urban energy, and you want to be at the center of a dynamic job market, then the Bay Area is your champion. Your 1.2 million will get you less space, but you'll be investing in a world-class location with a long history of stability and appreciation. But if your main goal is to maximize your quality of life right now, if you dream of a big modern home with a huge backyard, need space for a growing family, and want to escape that hyper competitive pressure of the Bay, then Sacramento is the clear winner. Your 1.2 million buys a lifestyle that is simply out of reach in the Bay, offering comfort, space, and room to breathe. This is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make, and you don't have to figure it out alone. If you're trying to decide whether your budget fits and which community matches your vision for the future, my team and I are here to help. We have a deep expertise in both markets and can give you a personalized analysis based on your unique situation. You guys, follow, like, subscribe. I am here to help. Follow, view all my other videos. I am going to be the #1 relocation expert to you guys on this YouTube platform. So like, subscribe, and share. I'm bringing you guys nothing but heat when it comes to relocating from the Bay to the greater Sacramento area. Take care.